The Steam Deck is Valve's new handheld. So yeah, they're making a new little Switch thingy, a Nintendo Blitch.
Nintendo Blitch?
Yeah, a man Blendo. Stem Blendo Blitch.
Yeah, it pretty much looks exactly like a Nintendo Switch, except it's for Steam.
Yeah, and it's got two little track pads underneath. The actual controller thumbsticks. And it's got a D-pad in the top left corner, which kind of looks cool. I don't know about the buttons in the top right corner, though.
I don't know about the buttons underneath it, kind of where like your pinky and your other finger go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's got a lot of buttons on it, and that's a plus, I think, for some people.
Yeah, lots of
The
buttons.
more buttons, the mo better. That's what Cash Money Records used to say.
Mo buttons, mo better.
Mo buttons, mo better.
That's right.
All berries. But this thing looks pretty powerful. Got up to like 3.5 gigahertz AMD 4-core in there. You got 16 gigs of RAM. I don't know what the fuck this GPU is. It looks like it might be like partly on board, but 8 RDNA, up to 1.6 gigahertz. But yeah, so the big thing here is that the price has changed on the storage in it. So the 256 and the 512 versions are like what, $500 and $600?
The 256 gigabyte is $530, and the 512 gigabyte is $650.
Yeah, and those are both NVMe cards, which is dope. So those would be lightning fast. But for the $400 version, it's 64 gigs. I mean, like, which is insane. Like, unless you're only playing indie games, and even then, only a few. Like, this is going to be eaten up so fast. Most games, you probably couldn't even fit most games on the 64 gig.
That's like if you just want to play Stardew Valley, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then you would spend $400 on that.
Yeah, it does have expandable micro SD, but how fast can you get a micro SD card? So
not fast at all.
You're not going to be playing like big games off your micro SD, and the biggest games that you would need it for, well, you don't have enough room in the machine to play those games. The screen is not great either. 1280 by 800 LCD touchscreen, 7-inch. So apparently this thing's very slightly bigger and heavier than a Switch.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta keep in mind though that it is a smaller screen, and it's almost like a 720p monitor. So like if you have a larger computer monitor or TV, 720 would look okay. And then imagine scrunching that down onto this smaller screen. So
yeah,
it should look pretty good.
Switch has around that itself. Switch is not full HD. And then this is like I like their presser, but stereo speakers that pack a punch. It's like, well, they can't pack too much of a punch, or the goddamn weight of the magnet will just weigh that thing down too much. It seems like it might be 1.5 pounds, which is, I don't know. I feel like that could be, like, that's kind of heavy. Yeah. There's 2 of the trackpads. This is funny. The trackpads, Valve says, are 55% better latency compared to the Steam controller. It's like, oh wow, what does that mean? People hated that thing.
Well, apparently this is better, so I guess that's the... Yeah. It's like, hey, look, this is better than our other product.
Yeah, and then like the other biggie thing here too, to me, is the battery. So 2 to 8 hours, they say, but they say you could play Portal 2 for 4 hours. And you get less if you go 60 frames per second, obviously. But Portal 2 is like a really, really old game. So like, I feel like if you're trying to play anything new, you're probably getting closer to that 2 hours. So it's less of a portable video game machine and more of a lay in bed next to your plug-in video game machine.
And
or a couch.
Like the Nintendo Switch, there's a dock, so you can hook it up to that to charge it and connect it to a monitor, a larger monitor. That dock will be sold separately. So now you're looking at, $800 to get a decent setup. Maybe. I don't think you would want to go less than the $530 version at 256 gigabytes. So $530 plus, I don't know, $150 for the dock. So now you're at $700.
Yeah, I guess old Newell, they said picking the price was painful. So I don't know how much money they're actually making off this thing, because it's got some good stuff, especially for this price point, and compared with the chip shortage and all that stuff, it probably makes it a little more expensive for them, the manufacturing. One thing I have like major questions with though is like this thing is like basically a full computer. It's got as much RAM as my computer has.
Yeah.
And yet, like, where is all that heat gonna go? Because you have a battery, you have a CPU, maybe like some semi-virtual video card, and then you have all this stuff tucked in this little thing with the screen there. I mean, that's a lot of heat.
There's a vent on the underneath and on the back, but I don't
burning your hands while holding. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that'll be enough ventilation. It might have heating issues. One more note about this Steam Deck is that it looks like you might be able to connect controllers into the dock.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to
even
use
into the machine.
Oh yeah, you might be able to. I definitely see the USB ports on the dock, so you could like plug an Xbox controller in there. I'm not positive about that, but they've also got USB-C as well on there. So cool idea. It's just expensive. I don't know how many people are going to want to spend that much money. For the 512 gigabyte version for $650. Well, hell, if you spent $600 more, you could get a pretty badass desktop, but I guess that would defeat the purpose if you wanted a mobile unit.
Well, and the desktops have just gotten so expensive right now because of all the part shortages. So, I mean, really, it's probably going to be comparable to a desktop at the same price.
Maybe. I don't know. And I am skeptical of the ergonomics of it. Like with the Nintendo Switch. Just holding it feels like shit.
Yeah, I like where the thumbs are. I do like how high up the thumbs are, because to me that seems better. Like if I'm holding it.
I don't know. I think it's gonna feel all fucked up.
The buttons are weird to me.